This is a self-audit. This is a self-audit. I am playing the stream that I did last year regarding the Lionsgate. The Lionsgate portal. Hold up. Let me just throw something in the comment section for anybody interested. What do I want to do? I'm gonna give y'all a link. Hold up. I don't want to give y'all that link. I went live a little bit earlier, real quick, and I told y'all I was gonna do this. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and do that. Let me just go ahead and hey. Hey, Raining Woman. Here go this, right? In case you're wondering, the 2026 Lionsgate Portal is an annual spiritual event spanning from late July to mid-August, reaching its energetic peak on August 8th, 2026, which is today. If you are interested in reading more about what that means and how it might apply to you, even if you are not a Leo, I'm gonna go ahead and send y'all to Refinery 29. I'm gonna put the link here so that you can go read it on your own time, whatever. There you go. I'm right there. So go ahead and click that. But in the meantime, thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting the like button. Shout out to Lewis Conyer. Shout out to the Cynical One. I'm gonna actually play this on like 1.5, I think. Because why not? I was yapping for an hour and 20 minutes. I don't think we need to listen to me yap for that long. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, Cooking with Sir was on this. Look at you. I don't know if y'all can see the live chat. Are y'all really like sciencing it out? 20 better. Oh, hold up, because I can't even hear myself. Wait a minute. Bruv. Why when I just tested this, it wasn't doing this, but now it's doing it. As you can see, I definitely listen to the Joe Budden podcast. I am a fan. Big Jersey. But when I tested this a second ago, I could hear it just fine.
Let's get into it, shall we? Lionsgate 888. Today is August 8th, 2024. August is the 8th month of the year. It's the 8th day of the month. When you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, you get 8. So it is 888. The Lionsgate is open. I'm going to talk to you guys about the Lionsgate, what it is, and its meaning in astrology. Um, I am not going to play the video that is on the Today Show's website, but I am going to use that for an explanation. Shout out to Mr. Shook to you. Shout out to Artisan MC. And the cynical one says hello to myself in the chat. Indigo Flow in the building. Shout out to all of you guys for coming through. Hopefully, you guys get something useful about the Lionsgate portal. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that you can see Hoda and Jenna right there. So they're talking to an astrologer. I didn't listen to or watch the clips. I don't even know what they're saying, but we're not even going to worry about that. Let me put my fair use banner up just in case because I don't want no smoke. Um, but yeah, this is what happens when the brightest star in the night sky and Orion's belt align with the Earth. So yeah, like it says here, the Lionsgate portal is open. It's an astrological term describing the alignment of the sun in Leo, the star Sirius, which is the brightest star as seen from the Earth, and the constellation Orion's belt and the Earth. It usually happens between July 28th and August 12th, but August 8th is most pivotal because it falls in the middle of those dates. Now, thinking of the opening of that portal as a day reserved for the practice of manifestation.
All right, so I paused it. I'm playing it on a different device so I can hear it along with y'all, but um yeah. I'm not sure why I'm not able to hear it from my laptop and you guys can, but we're not gonna question it. We're just gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it rolling. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing what I said last year, and I'm gonna stop it every now and then just to add commentary. I'm going viral soon, so this is just a precursor to that. I just, you know, shout out to those of you who rock with me. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself back on mute so I can start the video again. BRB.
A cosmic pat on the back. All right. That's how you look at it. So if you've been scrolling Instagram or you've been scrolling TikTok or Twitter, you've most likely seen mention made of the Lionsgate portal. Hello, Snowman Multimedia. And so I wanted to shed a little light on that, given that it is Leo season, and I owed you guys a stream regarding Leos. I am a Leo, in case anybody here did not know that. I'm sure you did because I remind you all the time, but just in case I have a new listener who isn't familiar with me, you're going to learn a lot about me during the stream. Early at the top, I just want to give a shout out to the replay gang that will eventually come through. If you didn't catch this live, I appreciate you for hitting that play button after streaming. Shout out to Dave Tao. I love Toya too. She's all right. Even though, I struggle a little bit with making sure that people get me. Not necessarily that people love me because everybody's not going to love me and I'm fine with that. But I struggle with y'all understanding me. I do. Because it's so many people that I have interacted with on this here YouTube that as the rap rats would say, got me up. I'm censoring myself. Yeah, so like I don't know about you, but that's one of the worst feelings to have is when somebody just is committed to misunderstanding you. And it's like no matter what you do or what you say or how you present it, they just don't pick up what you're putting down. So I struggle with that and just trying to keep it in perspective and understanding that not everybody's going to pick up what you put down. But I try to be as transparent as possible with letting you guys in on who I am, what I'm up to, what I've been, where I've been, from me telling you guys about how I used to be fat to um, talking to you guys about what I'm up against in life right now, being unemployed, to having to move back to New Jersey after, like I think I've been rather transparent about my life and where I'm at in it and where I hope to go. Which is another reason why I wanted to do this stream today, because again, I want to capture the manifestation energy of the Lionsgate portal and really be intentional about my patterns, my actions, where I see myself going, and how it all.
All right, so yeah. That's so funny because a year ago I was deep in my why can't I find a job bag. I was deep in my why did I have to move back to New Jersey bag. And as of now, I am no longer questioning those things, but I'm also in a much better place, which is really um on target, honestly. Things have really turned around for me and I'm really grateful for that. But it's always nice to be able to turn back to what was going on a year ago or even a few years ago. A lot of astrology is just a repeat of a cycle. Um, so for example, the Lionsgate portal happens every year, right? But depending on what other cosmic transits are happening at the time, you can always look back to a certain time in your life where that cosmic transit presented itself. Maybe for the first time. And that helps you to kind of prepare for what's going on now. And what I love about that is if you can remember back to the time when that cosmic transit happened, it really does give you somewhat of a blueprint on how to navigate what's going to happen for you the next time. And the last time that Jupiter was in Leo and that we had the Lionsgate portal was in 2014. So it's really kind of cool to think about where I was in 2014 around this time. I was living in Virginia. I was working and had my own place, and it was my first time having my own place again after being in a long-term relationship and living with someone. Um, and I remember feeling very accomplished. I remember feeling hopeful. I remember feeling like I was looking forward to whatever was going to come next as far as my career, my love life, all that good stuff. I was just really open to whatever the universe had in store for me. And so even with this stream that I did last year that you see up on the screen, you're going to hear a lot of things. You're going to hear me talk about a few things that actually came to fruition for me over the past year. But now, with Jupiter being in Leo, because last year Jupiter was not in Leo, last year Jupiter was in Cancer. So, um, this is going to hit a lot different for me this year than it did last year, but it's going to be very similar to the things that was going on for me in 2014. Um, yeah, so I just really think it's cool how astrology can really be a tool. It really is a helpful tool for navigating life, for understanding why the things are happening around you that are and how to navigate them. Um, yeah, I'm just, I love looking towards astrology for answers. I had a really cool conversation earlier today with some people that was kind of based on their astrology, and I was helping them navigate through what some of it means. And I love being able to do that. It's so awesome to be able to do that. All right, I'm gonna stop yapping and let this run for a little bit. I'll be right back.
Adds up. So if you are just now listening in, I'm going to get into it. We're going to go through all of the signs and what the Lionsgate means for each sign. So stay tuned to hear that as well. If you had the opportunity to check out the thumbnail, that is a picture of none other than myself. I think I was about 7 in that picture. I was like 6 or 7 in that picture. Young Toya. So I posted that picture on some of my other social media, and people will always comment and say, "You're a ginger?" And I'm like, "No, if you look closely, my hair is not red at all. It's just very, very light brown." But I digress. Um, Even if I came up right now and showed you, like you could see my hair is very light. I just have very light hair. It's brown though. Um, and it gets lighter in the summer from the sun, which I appreciate. So much to be grateful for. So anyway, astrologers consider this an opportune day for manifestation or concentrating on what you want to make a reality. Intentionally create your reality, okay? The date packs a numerological punch too. Numerology is the idea that numbers carry with them specific association. 8 is the number associated with power, change, transformation. And since 2024 is an 8 year, the digits add up to 8. In short, this is a chance to dream big and believe in yourself. So, um, you'll hear most people say how the number 8 inverted represents infinity. So a lot of the power that this date and this portal holds is because it never ends. So if you think about stuff that you begin during this Lionsgate portal, it's going to have legs. Okay. Don't start none, won't be none. Okay. That really applies to today's date. Um, the peak of Lionsgate has great significance because of the light, the brightest star in the sky, Sirius, is shining its brightest. Okay. Ancient Egyptians honored Sirius because they could see the star in all its glory, and it represents a connection to harvest, the new year, and it carries with it some warnings as well. So I will go through each sign and talk about what you can expect, or how this portal will affect you, maybe even how you could use it to manifest. So the first sign of the zodiac is Aries, right? So here it says reconnect with an old project that inspires your inner child. Embracing your passions will lead to a greater sense of positivity and joie de vivre. Joie de vivre, quite simply just means joy of life in French. Joie de vivre. So if you've ever seen this word before, that's what that means. It's not Joey, it's joie de vivre. Uh, Shout out to Mrs. KP Bailey in the house. Love seeing her come through. Mrs. KP Bailey, I'm not sure if you caught my last live stream, but I did attempt to touch on Black love, and that was inspired by you. So thank you for that alley oop. I did not get a chance to do it with BGS as you
Je parle
suggested.
français.
However,
Okay.
I hope that we can revisit it.
In case you were wondering. And then in the live chat, Indigo Flow actually typed it, joie de vivre. I actually spoke to someone today uh in French. It was actually really cool. It's a guy that I see often at the store, the convenience store that I go to. Shout out to Krausers. If you know, you know. But yeah, we got to chit chatting, and he was talking about how he's retiring this year, and he doesn't plan to stay in New Jersey. But I could tell that he spoke Spanish, but then he hit me with some French, and I was like, "Oh, snap." So I started speaking French to him, and he was shocked at the fact that I knew French, and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I studied it for like 6 years." So it's just funny listening to this right now, and you know, obviously at the time I recorded this, I had no idea I was going to review it and then also have a conversation with someone in French on the day that I decided to review it. Just love stuff like that. Little pieces of synchronicity like that are pretty cool, I think. All right.
Let your imagination run wild. You'll have a lot of creativity coming your way, which will bring those artistic visions to light. That's what this Lionsgate portal is going to impact for Aries. So moving on to Taurus. Taurus says, take time to be honest with your loved ones right now about your plans and aspirations. You may find they step up not only to help you, but to also cheer you on. So set aside some time with them and find yourself reestablishing your home life. Even maybe redecorating to connect with the family might prove helpful if you are a Taurus. That applies to you during this manifestation time. Gemini, make sure that you are clear with your friends when stating your opinions. Don't back down from your points of view, especially when you know you're right. However, do so gently. Let's not forget, Mercury is also retrograde right now. So we all should be practicing a little patience and kindness with our words, simply because Mercury is the planet of communication. And so that means that you will have some misunderstandings as it pertains to how you're communicating with others. And that is for every sign. It's not just Gemini. Gemini happens to be ruled by Mercury. So that's something that you also have to keep in mind. So, yeah, make sure you're clear with your friends, Gemini. And you might actually start feeling more close to those friendships or even siblings during this time. That's what the Lionsgate portal is opening up for Gemini. Um, yes, you're welcome, Mrs. KP Bailey. Anytime. Like I said, I appreciate you bringing it up and suggesting it. So I was happy to talk about it and make room for the conversation. I did it with a little bit of a spin. I brought in DMX's "How's It Going Down," and just talking about how that song is about 25 years old now, and it's still resonant today, which speaks so much more towards him as an artist, but also just about Black love and how unique and rare it is, which I think is why I find it so beautiful. Side note, I was out a few days ago and I saw a couple that just made me really happy to see. They just came into the bar for a drink. They didn't sit for a meal, they just had a drink. But you could tell they were very much loving each other and enjoying the time they were spending. And it was beautiful to witness. I mean, I didn't overhear any of their conversation. I just could tell that they loved one another. Aside from the fact that, when they got up and left, they embraced each other and gave each other a kiss. I don't know if that was just like let's meet on my break and have a drink together type of thing, but it was really nice to witness. And anytime I see something like that, it warms my heart. It really does because I know what we're up against as Black people. And even just us loving each other is a revolutionary act. So anyway, I digress. Back to the Lionsgate portal and the readings for each sign. So we just finished up Gemini. Let's move on to Cancer. It says, what does abundance mean to you? Try to cultivate a sense of all that you want already being yours. You can redefine abundance by being grateful for all that you already have. Now that's a bar. Um, you might be seeing green during this time because you'll be able to heighten your bank account by manifesting money and abundance, Cancer. So don't take this Lionsgate portal lightly. Think about what abundance means to you and welcome some more of that in. If you know any cancers, pass that message along. If they're not listening right now, hopefully they get the idea. And moving on to Leo, my sign, the best sign, the biggest sign of the zodiac, because you know it's ruled by the sun, by the way. Uh, and we are in Leo season. So the Lionsgate portal can only happen during Leo season, and it only happens August 8th. No matter what year it is, it will always be August 8th is when the portal is open, its widest, and it's most potent. So, Leo, you're confident by nature. Remember that. You can bring more vigor and oomph into your life if you let go of the doubt you have been replaying in your mind and ignore the naysayers. Leos will be feeling themselves during this time, which shouldn't come as a surprise, but they need to use the energy to focus inward, how you can glow up and boost your confidence. Now, I got to stop right here and just spend a little time on this one because I have my confidence has been thwarted to a place that it never has been before. And I talked a little bit about that in probably the last 3 or 4 live streams, to be honest with you, because again, just being transparent with you all, letting you all know where I'm at in life and that, this is probably, I'm not calling this a rock bottom because it doesn't feel like that, but it definitely feels like I have never been this without resources in my life. Like I've never been this short on resources. And although I'm grateful for the ones that I do have and that I just got the chance to celebrate a birthday, um, just trudging through my early 40s as I am, um, it has me reflecting a lot and also just replaying a lot of those doubts. So, to what this Today article is saying about Leo, let go of the doubt I've been replaying in my mind and ignoring the naysayers. It's easier said than done, right? Especially if you are your biggest naysayer. And I tend to be. I tend to be in my head a lot. I tend to be looking at things from within. I always say it's an inside job, and I mean that because life is really about what you make it, not to be cliche. But if you can't look within and address and adjust what is going on there, you likely won't see any change without. So, I appreciate and receive that because the doubts have been loud in my brain lately, just with reference to having to move back to New Jersey, back in with my mom, not being able to uh, pass muster for creating a life for myself, and really just coming to the conclusion that that's not how any of this was supposed to work. I'll get into that for our second topic, though. Moving on to Virgo. It says, rather than get deep with yourself, get still with yourself. Don't overthink. State positive affirmations to acknowledge how amazing you are on the inside and out. Most importantly, practice self compassion right now, Virgos. Um, Focus on healing as well as self care. This would be a good time to set aside some me time, this Lionsgate portal, okay? Libra, the scales. Embrace a bigger social circle. You'll be surprised by how networking will be able to help you in the future in making your goals become a reality. So, this Lionsgate portal is asking Libra to get reconnected with relationships or friends from the past and maybe getting involved in your local community as well. Just to, embrace that bigger social circle, make that come about, bring that to focus. The Lionsgate portal says to Scorpio, give your career the boost it needs by thinking about where you want to be next. Let your aspirations be known. So, the more precise you are, the easier it'll be for you to bring them to fruition and to swiftly attain them. You're working your way up that career ladder, so use this time to manifest greatness and elevate your career. Sagittarius, if you're longing to seek a new adventure and don't have the means to do so, this portal will give you the chance to manifest your travel plans. As long as you are precise with where you want to go, you might be in shock with how lucky you are, honestly. Um, you're going to send your love to the universe, which is really imperative for your travels. So keep that in mind as well. If you are seeking that new adventure, you can totally manifest it with this time period. So go ahead and trust the Lion's Gate to help you with doing that. Capricorn, your intuition is on point. Pay attention to the psychic downloads that are being told to you at this time. Listen to your gut feelings. It might not feel natural since you're so logical, but it's necessary. Okay? You're going to be bringing extreme strength, dominance, and power to your life because you're the one in charge. All right. So you're a hardworking sign. We know that about you, Capricorn. But this Lionsgate portal is asking you to pay attention to what your intuition is telling you with reference to that hard work. Your gut's going to be rewarding at this time. Aquarius, you are the opposite sign to Leo. So we are sisters. You need to focus on maintaining or restoring your interpersonal relationships. Giving your all and best to another is something you've been yearning to do. So it's a season of love. You'll be able to elevate your current relationships or define an existing one. You might even be able to pull in a new partner during this time. Shout out to the Aquariuses listening. I love y'all. Pisces, make sure you do not take on too many responsibilities all at once. Instead, take on things that are fun and don't come with any strings attached. Give yourself the opportunity to be the beginner. This way, you'll be able to heighten your everyday routine and embrace a new hobby. Okay. But you've got to allow yourself to be a beginner first. That's the biggest part of this. All right, Pisces. Um, so yeah, happy Lionsgate portal, everybody. This happens once a year, every year, even if you're not astrologically inclined. Just think about some things that you want to bring into your life. And if you combine those thoughts with the ideas that I just shared for each sign, you might be pleasantly surprised at what comes on the other end of that. Now, we were just talking about how Mercury is retrograde, right? We were just talking about how, um, oh, shout out to LXST in the building. Shout out to Trying to Be Fit Mom. Good evening. Um, Dave Town said Virgos like Toya. I don't know about that, Dave Town. Virgos and I don't necessarily mesh. Virgo is an earth sign. I am a fire sign. You know, not really the best combo. Virgos tend to be so meticulous and like painstakingly accurate, whereas I like to live by the seat of my pants a little bit and burn as brightly as I want to, wherever I want to. And I think Virgos tend to put a little bit of containment on that, and that's no fun. I don't hate Virgos though, but I definitely can pick up on those nuances that most Virgos carry. So yeah, earlier I was talking to a friend about Mercury retrograde and just explaining to him what that actually is. So most people make jokes about it, not really realizing the significance of it. Basically, I explained it to him as Mercury moving backwards, and because it's the planet of communication, if it moves backwards, then obviously that affects how you communicate. But Mercury also rules transportation and technology, and so it is actually an optical illusion that makes it appear like Mercury is moving backwards when it really isn't. But it's still something that really points towards difficulty in communicating, um, travel mishaps, technological mishaps. Like for example, you might send an email and think that you sent it, but it's not you. The person you sent it to just never got it, and then you go back and check your inbox and see that it's still sitting in there for whatever reason, even though you swore you sent it. Okay, those are the types of things that end up happening during Mercury retrograde. And earlier this year, how I talked about how all of the retrogrades of this year were happening in fire signs. So we've already had Mercury retrograde in Aries earlier this year. And what dictates that is that the retrograde happens during when what sign the sun is in at the time. So we had we had the Mercury retrograde in Aries April 1st through the 25th. Now we're having it in both Virgo and Leo uh, August 5th through the 28th, which is Leo season, but it also bleeds into Virgo season, which is why it's in both. And then the last one we will have around Thanksgiving occurring in Sagittarius. So they only happen 3 times a year and they only last for 3 weeks. And that's a good thing because you don't want these kind of mishaps happening for any longer than a 3 week interval. And because they happen 3 months apart, you get a nice little reprieve until the next one. You can kind of, whatever you didn't do to prepare for the one before it, you can kind of remember to do that for the next one, right? Which I love because we all need a reprieve sometimes. So it appears to look to move backwards, the planet Mercury does. Um, and that can be, oh, here we go. I have really got to figure out what is going on with my Google Chrome because it has been doing this thing lately where right in the middle of my live streaming, it'll say application not responding, and I'll get that color wheel moving. And I'm not sure why it does that, but it's annoying. So, anyway, shout out to the 18th letter in the building. Oh my gosh, APTV in the building. Absalom Pianki TV. He had a comment on one of my shorts the other day because I put up New York Nay talking about Megan the Stallion at Kamala's rally. So
How funny is that? I was just talking about Mercury retrograde and things that happened during it, and then I proceeded to talk about how Google Chrome was acting kind of funky and disrespectful. Like it's just the jokes right themselves. If you're just now joining, thank you for joining. I'm just replaying my stream from last year where I discussed the Lionsgate portal and I told you what it meant for each sign. I'm not going to do that this year, but if you scroll back up to the top of the chat, I did paste a link for that information if you are interested in it. I'll repost it again in case you can't see it because I know sometimes when you come on to um, a stream and there's a live chat happening, I know sometimes it actually doesn't stay within the chat. So here it is again, in case you are just now joining and you do want to know about why the Lionsgate portal might be important and what it might mean for you. Go ahead and click that link and go get your read on while you still can, because I know there's some people who cannot read, and that's a whole nother story for another day. But let's get back to it. I'm gonna play about another 10 to 15 minutes of this stream that I did last year, and then I'm gonna come back to you guys and end the stream for today. So if anybody's confused, what you're seeing on the screen is the stream I did about Lionsgate last year, where I was in life and how the portal was in the sign of Cancer for last year, because when Jupiter goes into a sign, it stays in that sign for about a year and some change. And since there are 12 months in a year and 12 zodiac signs in astrology, it would follow that whatever sign it was in last year, it goes to the next sign this year. So right after Cancer is Leo. We are currently in Leo season. Jupiter started in Leo at the end of June, and it transits whatever sign it's in for a little bit more than a year. So from now until next July, the planet of gifts and luck is in my sign, and since I'm a Leo sun and a Leo moon, that means you guys are gonna see y'all gonna prepare to get sick of me. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Prepare to get sick of me, because not only am I going viral soon, but I will also be enjoying a of an overflow of favor. We'll call it that. But I'll keep you guys posted as things continue to materialize for me. Don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little head.
Yeah, she's funny. I find her quite hilarious. But yeah, I don't know why my Google Chrome is wigging out on me like this. It is not okay. Um, hmm. Like it's allowing me to do certain things, but it's not allowing me to click on the chat right now. So hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. What can I do? I I, I'm assuming you guys can still hear me, but for whatever reason, I'm still getting like a. I'm gonna quit and reopen. I'll be right back.
Damn, I didn't even play no whole music for y'all. My bad. Enjoy the beautiful graphic of a lion though. It's kind of cool, I think. Beautiful graphic of a lion. Kind of cool, I think.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I have Safari open with YouTube, and then I have Chrome open for StreamYard, and that's kind of how I typically do
Okay,
these. I
sorry
usually
about
have
that.
them
So
both
yeah, I
open.
have
Hey, better
Safari
you.
open.
So thank you for saying that you can hear me and that I'm good. But on my end, I'm like freaking out because everything is going haywire over here. Like I'm not. I don't know if I just need to update Chrome or something. But the past 3 live streams, it's happened to me, so I don't appreciate that. Anyway, so like I was saying, yes, travel disruptions and misunderstandings. Absolutely, those are the things that happen, and you can always count on Mercury retrograde to bring that out, whether we want it to or not. So yeah, um, I want to get into Leo for a little bit. So there are 3 Fs. When you think of Leo, you should think of 3 Fs. You should think of fire, fixed, and fifth. Those are the 3 Fs of Leo. Let me explain. So Leo is a fire sign. Leo is a fixed sign, and Leo is the fifth sign of the zodiac. Aries is the first. Aries is also a fire sign, but Leo is the fifth. Now, um, it says here we still call people fiery both as a compliment and an insult. Fire signs Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius certainly live up to their element. These three radiant signs are famous for their signature passion, creativity, and courage. We are natural born leaders who know how to bring the heat. So, the element of fire represents creation and destruction. Those are the consequences of fire. Fire can heat your home or burn it to the ground. Rituals around fire exist in almost every major religion: lighting candles, cremating remains, um, burning lists. That's something I do at the full moon. Fire stories at the center of many creation myths. Fire is powerful stuff. So if Aries is the creator, then Leo is the performer. Occurring in the middle of the hottest season, Leo embodies the essence of flame. Symbolized by the regal lion, Leo knows it is zodiac royalty. In fact, Leo is very painstakingly aware of its own magnificence and its power to create or destroy. This sentence right here is me. I am painstakingly aware of my own magnificence and power to create or destroy. This is why I'm very careful not to anger, because I said on my last stream, I don't know how to get back to the middle. I'm either burning or I'm not. It's either yes or it's no. It's either white or it's black. There's no gray area with me. However, I am learning. I am learning to be more um, in the middle. I'm learning to understand and embrace the gray areas of life. Um, I think this is probably why I'm having such a hard time right now, because I'm so used to um, being either one side or the other and not having much wiggle room. And I think that part of what life is telling me or teaching me is that if you live somewhere closer to the middle, that is where your wiggle room lies. You don't have much wiggle room in general because you are either all the way over to the left or all the way over to the right. And life can't be lived fully in either one of those places. You have to come to the middle sometimes so that you can see better. So I'm learning that. Life is teaching me that. Um, no matter how strong-willed and passionate I am, I have to be more understanding of that. And so, as we are in Leo season and we are at the height of the Lionsgate portal today being the 8th, I thought it would be pertinent to talk about. Yes, Vincent John Doom, we are talking astrology tonight, but I have also decided that I would talk about some other things as well. So, not just astrology. I'm going to get into some transparency about myself and that gray area I was just talking about. And I'm going to express some gratitude for my birthday week. Today it makes it a week out from my birthday. So, I'm winding down the celebration of my birthday. However, all Leo season is still a celebration for me. So, back to the article. Um, Think of Leo as a decadent fireplace in a luxurious mansion, ready to be shown off in a shiny architectural digest spread. Yes, this hearth may be ostentatious, but it's also warm and safe. After a long day, Leo's fire can be relied upon for consistent comfort. Beneath the gilded mantle are bricks and mortar. Leo, loyal and constant, isn't going anywhere. That's the truth. That's, I think, the misconception about me. Um, while yes, I am very much into astrology and I embrace being a Leo to the hilt, um, a lot of what it says about Leo is resonant with me because it really is who I am. And I don't expect any of you to put too much stock in that if you don't know me from a can of paint. But one reason why I have always been so transparent is because I want for people to see that I am here to be that brick and mortar. I'm a constant. I am a loyal person. I have no reason to remove my loyalty from you unless or until you show me that you don't deserve or desire it. The way you do that is being committed to misunderstanding me. Okay? I understand that things are not always going to be what they seem. And I understand that sometimes we don't get the luxury of explaining ourselves. But I do believe that with communication, you can overcome any misunderstanding. But two people have to be willing to meet somewhere in the middle, right? And because Leos are ruled by the sun, this is why we are always going to provide warmth and safety for those of the people who are in our lives. And so if I have said anything kind to you, it's because I really meant it, and you can always count on that energy coming from me. I don't have a disingenuous bone in my body. If it doesn't feel right, I'm just not going to be there. I'm just not going to stay. Um, it has to feel energetically good for me to stay and to pour into. So that's also a lot of the reason why you may feel like my contribution to YouTube is sporadic. Because if I don't feel like I'm in a good enough place to get up on this screen and get up behind this microphone and talk something to you guys, then I really won't do it because it doesn't feel energetically aligned. Sorry, I just went to drink some water. But when it does, I do. And so, even in the case of being misunderstood and misconstruing my intentions, I will always welcome the opportunity to have a conversation about it and get some better understanding because I am also understanding of the fact that even though you might be well intentioned, it may not land right. It may not hit the way you want it to.
Did you hear that clue? Misconstrue?
And we're all human, so we're all just trying our best, right? Vincent John Doom says being genuine and sincere is so important. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are 16 days into Leo season, so we're just about halfway through it, but we still got some time left before we get to those Virgos. All right, so like I said, it's a fire sign. It's a fixed sign, and it is the fifth sign of the zodiac. So three F's. There's three F's in Leo. I know that doesn't sound right, but just go with me here. As the article continues, as a fixed sign, Leo is reluctant to alter its ways and take advice. Even when change is absolutely necessary, it can be challenging for it to make material adjustments, especially if it wasn't its idea. Even if its entire estate bursts into flames, Leo will stay standing. A chimney, barely hanging onto the skeleton of a house, as if to prove a point. Fire is a challenging element to contain, and Leo smolders, desperate to retain a selfish illusion of control. If that doesn't sum up my being in, trying to stay in, and reluctance to coming back from Texas, I don't know what does. Okay, I've been transparent with you guys about what it was like being there, how I was committed to staying there, no matter if the change was absolutely necessary. I challenged it because it wasn't my idea to leave. The universe was saying, sis, you got to go. My body was saying, sis, you got to go. My bank account was saying, sis, you got to go. Texas was saying, we don't want you here. And so my estate essentially burst into flames, and I was still standing, injuries in tow, barely hanging on, as if to prove the point that I could still do it, regardless of so many things that were going wrong in my life. I've talked a little bit about that. Physically, I had things going on with my body that had never happened to me before and scared the crap out of me. But I was still like, oh, well, this is just something else that's going wrong, but I've got to deal with it and I'm going to turn it around and it'll be fine. I just got to get back to work. I just got to get back on the books. I just got to get some money in my bank account. And as soon as I do that, I'll be ready to go again. I'll be going. I'll be fine. Right. So I'm a very challenging person to change the mind of. I'm somebody, once I've decided something, that I'm going to stick with it, regardless of what the fallout is or what I may endure. I still feel if I strongly want something, there's really not much you can do to change my mind on that. But life has shown me, hey, okay, if you don't want to listen, we'll make it uncomfortable. We'll make it real uncomfortable for you. So part of being fixed is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing when you start to consider the stubbornness and selfishness that is associated with being so fixed and stubborn. Leo is ruled by the sun, and since the sun in astrology represents our ego, Leo is naturally egocentric. That's not necessarily a bad thing. We need it to survive. Um, but self-awareness is also a good thing, and having an ego death is also necessary. Like Vincent John Doom says, there's a relationship between seasons and migrating, for sure. And as I've closed out the Texas season and migrated back to New Jersey, my ego suffered a death. Reluctant, yes, very reluctant. I have always been reluctant to changes that I didn't want to make. Um, so, you know, while Leo radiates the warmth and brightness of its ruling element, you know, I have a natural flair for drama and a desire to be in the spotlight. That is a true statement about me. I don't want to be in that spotlight when I don't feel my best self, though. And there's a lot to that because, seasons change, like Vincent John Doom said as well. And, there's a big connection to that and understanding, like, you're not always, the sun's not always out for a reason. In Jersey here, we've been having some pretty gloomy weather the past couple days, and it's going to rain again tomorrow. I wanted to go to the beach yesterday, but that just was not in the cards. Not only was it not in the cards, we suffered some flooding here in New Jersey. Some people were kayaking through their streets because it was so bad. Um, so moving on to that egocentrism and what I was just talking about. Hey, Rogish, Mr. Rogish's neighborhood checking in and saying peace and ease from the pad. Shout out to that. Triple fire. Yeah, so
Okay. That's funny. Listening to myself talk last year, a lot of it applies to this year. That's funny. We've had lots of flash flooding here this year, for whatever reason. I guess we can blame it on global warming, why the weather has been weathering the way it has. Shout out to Dead Set in the building. He said I sound like a Taurus. Well, the reason for that is because Taurus and Leo are both fixed signs. So there is going to be some overlap, just for that reason alone. In as many ways that we are different as signs, there are probably very many similarities just for that reason. Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio, all fixed signs. Kayaking in the streets is a wild statement. But you know what's funny? If you look at the news, just now, just this past week, They were kayaking in the streets in Norfolk. And in Jersey, we've gotten a bunch of sinkholes from all the flooding. I don't know if there's been any kayaking in the streets this summer, but clearly there was last year. Oh, yeah, I have the stream from last year playing at 1.5 speed. So that's how you can tell which one is the live voice and which one isn't. I think I was speaking a little slow last year too, because that's why it sounds like it might be the live voice, even though I have it sped up on the playback. But shout out to the Passport OG in the building. Ding 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 ding. And happy birthday. I know you're a Leo too. Shout out to us. Shout out to all the Leos in the building. Shout out to all the Leos everywhere. But yeah, I'm gonna let this go for like another 5 minutes and then that's it. Dr. Dunbar, of course. He goes Toya after dark. Virgo season comes right after Leo season. I'm aware, but we are not going to speed through Leo season. We are still in the midst of it. It is still lion time. We're not going to go past that. We're honestly, Virgo season is really just post Leo season. Like, you guys get the um residual effects of the sun being in love with the universe, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and Leo season really is just the sun being in love with the universe and showing y'all how good things can get. Jupiter is in Leo right now. It's just our time. Um, we'll get to you guys soon enough. You guys, it'll happen. And shout out to your brother. He said his brother's birthday was on Monday. So then Dr. Dunbar, you're aware. You're surrounded by royalty. This is nothing new to you. In a flood, the man with a boat or even an air mattress is king. Whatever you say, Clue. Whatever you say.
Let me pull up what I wanted to share with you guys, and then we'll talk about it because I definitely said that I wanted to share a little bit about myself. And so I will pull that up from my Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. Vincent John Doe says resilience and withstanding is another way to look at how the fixed look like in real time and in behavior. Yeah, because I mean we're the ones, whereas the cardinal signs are the starters. They are at the beginning of each season. They are the ones who put things in motion. We are the ones who establish security and a foundation by which that starting can continue. And then the mutable signs are adaptable so that when things arise that weren't accounted for or allotted for, we have the flexibility to be able to make changes without disrupting that foundation or torpedoing that start, for example. So each sign and modality has a purpose. All right. So I have here, you see me in this red dress that I no longer have that I wish I did still have because I love that dress. But anyway, um, it says, "Can we chat?" Right? And this is about my inability to have children. I'm coming up on my 6th anniversary of having a hysterectomy. You'll see more about that later on in this slideshow. So see, it says here, I used to suffer from uterine fibroids and endometriosis. I
All right, I'm gonna cut it there because I don't really need to rehash that. That time of year for me last year was kind of rough because I had just lost my cousin, and I was still in recovery from a surgery and all that good stuff. So we're not gonna belabor that. We're so far past that, and I'm so glad to be in a whole new year and experiencing some newness, and I'm I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for where I am in life today and how things are going. Um, Shout out to Chaos Rain. He said after dark with the apple. That's me. It's me, Toya B. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And like I said, hit the link that I put in the chat if you want to learn more about what the Lionsgate portal means and how it may or may not affect you. I wish you all the best. And before I end the stream, I just want to also say Thank you for rocking with me for as long as you have and for checking in with me when you can and when you do. I still haven't established a real um, cadence on YouTube, and I think that's okay. My mom asked me the other day, what do I want to do with my YouTube? And I was like, girl, I don't know. But she did tell me that I should be more light. And so I've been attempting to showcase that more often, being more light because I am a light-hearted person and I think I can get bogged down in the seriousness of life sometimes and that comes across and it's not really good for content. So you can look forward to seeing a lighter side of Toya, a sillier side of Toya, a more fun side of Toya in the year to come. Clue says last year sucked for me too. This year is awesome. 3 out of 4 goals already accomplished. See, that's what I'm talking about. I love that. I love hearing that. And you will be hearing more from me soon along those same lines of accomplishment and awesomeness. You guys know how I like to end my streams, and that is always with peace, that is always with ease, and that is always with whatever you please. Next time I do a live, I will cam up. I just didn't feel like doing it tonight because it's hot and I got my hair pulled back and I got my night clothes on. So I didn't think y'all needed to see that. Anyway, um, yeah, I'll see y'all in these YouTube streets, probably on your own channel when you guys do a live stream. And with that said, I'm out. Yeah, I'm a winner. It's true. Woohoo.